Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Visage, or Visage, or however you want to say it. Previously, we started Rakan's chapter where we found ourselves in a hospital rather than the house, where we were chased by the wretched souls and Rakan himself. We learned that Rakan was diagnosed with scopophobia and paranoid about being watched by an organization of eyeless humanoids that were trying to brainwash and subjugate him, leading him to his transfer to and sedation in the psychiatric ward where he is or was being held for constant monitoring. As with the other trends of the chapters, we can probably assume he's not going to make it out of this, since everybody's story has ended in death. Now that we are back in the house for the third time, we are going to be making one more trip to the hospital, and after we get out of the house, of course, because you know that. And then we're going to see if we can find if there was more to Rakan's claims, essentially. Okay, so we're back in the house, as I noted, and we should be in the upstairs area as far as where we're going to be active. I think my lighter was taken away. So let's get upstairs. Okay, first eye, there's 3 eyes this time. The first one's going to be in the dining room. So let's see how we get there. Door's not working. There should be a drop-off up here. Here's... Rakan. Jump! Okay. He's already after us. So here's the dining room and our first of 3 eyes. The next one's in the master bedroom, and then there's one in the bathroom, which is where we need to go. So we just need to avoid him. Master bedroom. And the bathroom in the shower, I think. There we go. Yeah, this is getting progressively worse. Bed's completely covered, footprints. It's almost like it's implying that we're the cause in this one, in some regard. But we know there's another figure involved. It's not just us. I mean, we're going through this, so I'm not going to say we're not complacent in any way, but... or complacent, however you want to say that. So, I think we're supposed to be following footprints. Did I go the wrong way? I may have gone the wrong way. Or not. Yep, I went the right way. Psychiatric ward. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I figured they keep mentioning the psychiatric ward sooner or later. That's the courtyard where Rakan chased us previously. This place is creepy, I will say. Cell control panel. That's actually where we want to go. Room 5, that's the one.
He's totally lost it! We should inject him with a tranquilizer.
We're not supposed to be here! You're all...
Someone bind him up!
Get his doctor right away!
Let me out of here!
Was that the figure I saw? I never noticed that before. Okay, so we need to go to the control room, which is this area, I do believe. Yeah, because I think it's unmarked. Yeah. Just exit signs. Observatory. Yes, same documentation. It's not marked. Okay, so room 5. I think that's the observation room, the unmarked one we just walked by. Yeah, okay, observation room, and it's a non-marked room. I'm sure that's by design. This feels really claustrophobic. Yeah, see all the exact same graphs.
You have assaulted multiple employees and threatened security guards with a knife. You sabotaged the electric panel, leaving the entire ward under lockdown. Such behavior is leaving us questioning your mental stability and health. You are left with no choice but to isolate you from the patients and employees in the psychiatric ward. Treatments are in measure. No treatments! You all are the reason why this.
I really don't blame him. This is... I'm kind of a... unpartial opinion here. He might, like I said, he might sound a bit out there, but... Great. He might sound a bit out there, but, the circumstances he's in and what led to it, I kind of believe him. I want to believe him. This story is not a mirror image of what we've seen in the past. That's what makes me want to believe him. Oh, come on. I should... What is it? What did it say? Okay, this reminds me of two things. Two things. Points if you get the references. First thing that came to mind was Silent Hill. Especially in Silent Hill 3, when you have the option to stick your hand in the toilet. And Heather says, "Who would even think of doing that while looking straight at you?" Breaking the fourth wall. Also made me think of Trainspotting. If you know what the worst toilet in Scotland is, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you should go look that up immediately. Stop watching me and go look that up immediately. And then I give you my sincerest apologies at the same time. Okay, so we got a electric box handle. And we're still following footprints. Huh. High-risk patients. Oh yeah, that's exactly where we want to go. That was a syringe, much like the one Lucy was being treated with. I'm assuming this is... It doesn't even give me the option to interact with it. The game's like, no, you're done. Just move on. Duck to the left immediately. There's a break in the fence. And stay out of his reach. With giant eyes blocking your path, you should find something sharp to cut it open. Oh, come on. Don't give up on me. I want you over here. There should be a knife back here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it is, but he's pretty fast for a guy on crutches. Which way do I want to go? Let's check over here really quick. I don't think it's over here, but... Come on. Stab it. I've never gone back in. I don't know that I really want to. Alright, let's walk into whatever this is. The eye is a theme because of the scopophobia. You know, again, he's got a fear of being watched, essentially. Or in his case, I don't think it's necessarily a fear of being watched. I think he's literally being watched. You know, whether he has the disease or not. Disease. I don't know if I'd even call that a disease. I guess it is, but by association of the term. Disease, disorder, whatever. But I'm inclined to believe him. Elevator. I have it in my notes. Where is the elevator? Is that down this way? Okay, I can't go this way. I don't remember if there was an elevator down this way. I think there's one back here. Oh yeah, there we are. Okay. I don't know which way we're going. Can I interact with the panel? Yeah, okay. So I don't think there was a discernible destination there. Same documents.
So, Rakan, right? I'm here with good news. Based on your behavior and recovery the past few months, you'll be ready to leave and go home. Sounds good, right? There are just a few technicalities that need to be taken care of, but this will just take a couple days. With everything that happened, I'm sure you'll be very happy to leave this place. Well, I'll get back to you soon.
I think I hear Rakan laughing. Can't get back there. So he was in a wheelchair. So was he on crutches post fall from the second floor? And then in the wheelchair because of being under sedation? Maybe I had it right the first time. It was healthy to... Oh, derp. Gotta move this. It was healthy to crutches to wheelchair, I think, in that order then. So maybe he didn't break his legs. Maybe it was like a sprain or something. Because he must have recovered pretty quick. Sprains are awful. I've had 2 of them on my around my ankle. But I've never had a break. I've always had people tell me that the sprain is worse, but I don't know which one heals quicker. Of course, from my experience, I could walk if I was careful about how I did it. Probably really slowed down my own recovery, but... Oh, okay. He broke out, I bet. Because why else would that have been there? I think I may have missed that. So, I think he was playing their game there for a bit. I don't think he was actually that heavily sedated. So, let's see where this goes.
I knew it! Oh, they're in big trouble now! With everything I know, I'll definitely take them down! You hear me, fuckers? I'm on to you! Hey, what are you doing? Who sent you? Wait! No! Fuck!
So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. He was right all along. He knew something was off, and he was killed for it. When they were about to release him, he was playing into the sedatives and their treatment and all that. I think before they released him, he got out and he found their observation room. And they tricked him. They used it to kill him. And ahead of us, you will see the 7th, the final, and the most terrifying VHS tape in the world, which completes 2 trophies for us. Chapter Rakan for completing Rakan's chapter, and Dwayne's Memento Master for finding all 7 VHS tapes. So, the game has seen fit to take all my items away every time we went back and forth from the hospital, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a pit stop at the TV room so we can drop off this tape. And there is one other thing we can do at this moment. I have to remember how to do it. I think we need to go up to the bathroom for it. So let's gear up on supplies on the way if we can, because more often than not, the house kind of always strips me of supplies at this point. Would you stop? Look, I've had enough of you. You're not going to get away with this next time. That's good. Oh, you know what? Almost forgot. Wait, why did I have that tape on me? I never took that tape out. Oh, that's the one from Dolores' chapter. Oops. I'll hold on to the attic hook. While we're over here, let's hit up the progress room. And we'll head upstairs. Yeah, the game really likes to mess with me on this one. Wait, why are you here all of a sudden? Okay, don't pick those up if you see them. That's just don't. Okay, so this is the progress item, and if you flip it, the eye has two vision spots, so 2 irises and 2 pupils, whatnot. So I did not know that these spawned in here until you started activating the VHS tapes, so stop it. I told you, I'm not putting up with your BS. I want you open, and here we are. So after completing all 3 chapters, you should have this show up in the sink. Notice the Silent Hill sound effect? It's a save key. It's very ugly. And it also looks very old school graphically. So the save key. So the save from the very beginning of the game that we couldn't open. In it, you have this. You found a strange note. What does it mean? It says basement, scratched out, room 302, question mark. If you are familiar with Silent Hill, that should ring a bell. Oh, hallway. Or closet. Room 302 is from Silent Hill 4, The Room. And there's a door in the basement that we've never been able to open. And look, now it's marked as 302. Okay. That is the room from Silent Hill 4. So yeah, that's a thing. You should get a trophy called Dance Dance for finding room 302. And that was Lucy dancing. So you know. Now, I would usually save in the foyer, but for very obvious reasons, I'm not feeling too safe here anymore. All right, that was the end of Rakan's chapter. Let's review what we know about his story at this point, and then compare with Lucy, Dolores, and ourselves, of course. Rakan was a rugby player that feared he was being watched by an organization that he described as having eyeless humanoids in it, which of course are the Wretched Souls, that were trying to brainwash and subjugate him. He lived a minimalistic lifestyle, likely to make it difficult for them to monitor him and make it easier for him to pick up on them. Rakan had a history of psychiatric evaluation where he had been diagnosed probably several times with scopophobia, which is essentially a fear of being watched. In his case, I think it's just being monitored, but sometimes I think that's a little bit more literal for some people, like being in a crowd being watched. His paranoia and agitation seemed to grow as he searched the house and found what he believed to be a bug. A microphone, something that was, they were using to track him. Rakan was eventually attacked by a black figure covered in an oily substance and tried defending himself by shooting at it. It's not the first time we've seen that oily substance or that person. But when the police wrote the report, they made no mention of evidence that anybody had been in the house. There was no intruder, nothing like that mentioned. Rakan was hospitalized and became more aggressive, eventually jumping out the second floor window where he likely broke or sprained his legs and had to get around on crutches. He was transferred to the psychiatric wing, and I would say he was probably in the high-risk unit as well, because that's where we went to, where he was sedated and bound to a bed, wheelchair, kind of depending on the circumstance, so that they could keep him for constant monitoring. Eventually, Rakan seemed to play along with the treatments and was considered by them healthy enough to be let out, to the point that he could actually get around on crutches again. So I think they kind of lowered his dosages and whatnot. I don't think he ever actually got out. I think he snuck out of his room. There was a panel in the walling where he would have been able to get down. I think that's what that was trying to show us. And he got to an underground observation room that he believed to confirm his suspicions of the organization. Why, I don't know. And then we saw an image in the back. I usually just say Man in Black because that's kind of what came to mind when I first saw it. And the person appeared behind him, closed the door, and basically left Rakan to his death in that room, as far as we know. Every story has ended with the death of the main character, where they died, how they died. So I think he was just left to die of dehydration. Rakan's story took a very different trajectory to Lucy and Dolores' stories. But there were many interesting connections among them that may have provided some insight. There's a common theme of people being treated for mental illness, but Lucy and Dolores had families that were getting them treatment that weren't helping them, essentially, whereas Rakan was living on his own and was probably not taking medication. Moreover, Rakan was paranoid that something bigger was going on and started getting worse after going to the hospital where he was put on medication. Given that Rakan was silenced, as the end of the chapter stated, by the faceless men in black, or the wretched souls, kind of depending on how you want to look at it, it was clear that he was onto something, and that the bigger picture might connect the three stories together, probably ourselves included. The other two factors that are starting to connect are the house and Dwayne. When I first played this, I had always assumed that the four of us lived in the same house at different times, but that was never clear. Since the house is a reoccurring theme across the chapters, I didn't really think much on it at the time. Now the house is a good size and would likely have been expensive. This might have you questioning how a single income family, such as with George and Dolores, or a single person like Rakan, could have afforded it. Granted, home ownership was not as difficult back then as it is now, and George and Rakan could be making bank with their careers. However, when I was watching Darkness through his playthrough, he pointed out in his playthrough that realtors, and this is kind of different state by state, but realtors often have to disclose deaths that occur in the homes they sell, especially if they're asked about it, which would depreciate the property value. I never thought about that myself, but it makes for an interesting point as to why these people are living here to begin with. Meanwhile, Dwayne has been called out by name twice. More than twice, actually, but by two different people. First, Dolores states his name after asking George to get her tea, and then let out a creepy laugh when we were in the basement with her. Here, Rakan tells Dwayne off in the hospital and constantly chases him around. I could not figure out what that meant the first time, other than confirming that they may have known each other. Confirming that they may have known. That doesn't sound right, does it? I mean, why would Rakan dislike Dwayne so much? It was hard to say at the time. But maybe Dwayne was involved in whatever led Rakan to his death, and by association, he was likely connected to Lucy and Dolores as well. Furthermore, Dwayne went on to murder his family, his entire family, and then himself, in the exact same house, very much like Dolores and Lucy. Obviously, there is a connection between mental illness and medications, but this also goes back to the idea that the house or environment could be a factor in what was happening to them. One last thing that I wanted to bring up are the wretched souls. It seems clear that the wretched souls are the eyeless humanoids that Rakan referred to. We keep seeing them, and they keep coming up as a recurring theme. The only time we haven't seen them is in Dolores' chapter, which could represent, in some cases, maybe different people. But I'm thinking it represents the hospital personnel to Rakan. It represents all the people in the hospital when we were there. May represent the men in black, so to speak, because there's the one that was in the doorway. So I wonder if the wretched souls also represent hospital personnel or I kind of wondered if they might have represented hospital personnel to Lucy, which is why they were in her chapter, because Lucy was probably going to the hospital, whereas Dolores, I don't know if she was or not, but she wasn't really in her right mind anyway. And so the wretched souls, I think, wretched means, someone that's kind of been put in an unfortunate situation. So I think it's fitting to say that that could apply to many different situations. It's not necessarily the people always doing the things. It could be the people suffering for it. But I think in most cases, it seems like it's the people responsible for what's going on, or the people that may have been victimized by it. So it could be on both sides of it. Anyway, if you are following along for the trophy walkthrough, then you should have chapter Rakan for completing Rakan's chapter, and Dance for finishing the last item-linked chapter, which gave us access to the office safe and the locked room in the basement for a little Easter egg relating to Silent Hill 4 The Room. Additionally, you should have the Dwayne's Memento Master trophy for collecting the 7th and final VHS tape, which we are going to dig into in the next coming episodes. And that's a good place to end this episode. To recap, we completed Rakan's chapter, which was the last of 3 that are linked to chapter items. Next time, we are going to start working on the VHS tapes and see what we can learn about Dwayne Anderson, because that's one of the biggest mysteries to us at this point. With that being said, let us close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.